Okay, welcome Redheads to the Q3 Reddcoin Development Core Team update, a video update. I've got a lot to go through and to bring you up to date on, just to give you a sense of what we've been working on. Um, I will be going through, let's see, quite a bit actually. We had hoped to do this as sort of a team effort. We've had some technical issues with recording, and for the moment, John is actually out on some family matters, so I am going to run through this by myself. John will be issuing a pretty full-fledged walkthrough of the ReddID extension and possibly the core wallet on his own shortly. But let me dive into it. We've got quite a bit under development here, and starting with well, let me start with the website. Let's see if I can bring this up. There we go. And that is courtesy of a new member of our team. Jim has been working very hard to coordinate that. We've had some contributions, of course, from excuse me, from our design folks. And under the new sort of attempt to, we're rebranding a bit. You'll see the logo change at some point. We are considering having a community vote on that. Tell us what you think. The general idea is basically to take that coin and the slot off of the logo, maintain the colors that we're known for and the historical logo that we've kept, and it really has a lot of visual recognition, but maybe bring it up to date and give it a bit of a jewel feeling with some of the facets. We'll be showing some options on that down the road. Obviously, it's not the most important thing, but something that's being worked on. But taking a look here at the website, you can see, if I can get it to, there we go. It is a bit more informative. There's links directly to some of the major resources that ReddID, I'm sorry, that Redheads, people looking to become Redheads are really going to need. Links to the core wallet. You'll see there on the right the red paper. We're actually revisiting the, as you may or may not know, revisiting the staking rules of the network to kind of see whether we can stabilize the growth as well as provide a bit of development funding directly behind the team to get some of this work done. We'll be talking quite a bit about that in the immediate future. Here on the website, there, of course, that's reflected in the new red paper. It's a white paper, but of course with the red spin on it. And we've got, a bunch of links where to buy Reddcoin. Our new partners, VertBase, Bittrex has been a traditional market. Of course, Change Angel needs to be prominent on there. We basically have tried to streamline things here so that users have an easier time. And then, of course, down to the information about ReddID. This is actually a pretty good view, and I could take you a little bit through this, but that's a pretty good view of what we've evolved ReddID into. It's much more of a user-friendly, kind of visually engaging product at this point. We're excited to get it back out into beta and into full release. That should be happening any day as soon as John's able to focus his full attention on it. We're able to work as a team to bundle that up and get it back in the store. That's actually a good time, or a good place, I'm sorry, to go ahead. I will hide that, and I can actually show you. Let's see, a bit more about the, as we're trying to test out some new recording bits here. You can actually see this is the ReddID extension live over to the left there, and you'll see there are definitely some new tabs. This is the news feed and the tip feed are basically, dummy information for the moment, but to give you an idea of how that's going to work. We've kind of reimagined a lot of what goes into using ReddID. Of course, up here you'll have the, your prompt to create and register your own ReddID, and take you through the process of buying one should you so desire. Again, it's been a bit of a work in progress. We Also wanted to point out we've integrated through our partners at Vertbase direct buy and sell Reddcoin for fiat. Most fiat Australian dollars should be coming online soon, but US dollars, pounds, euros, and there may be some geographic restrictions. Obviously, that's a bit of a moving target as things evolve, but we're hoping to cover globally as much as possible. And again, that's an option to buy Reddcoin, to be able to register your ReddIDs, to be able to tip. At some point, we will be able to enable staking on the wallet. We haven't done that yet as a priority. We're trying to get, obviously, a solid product 1.0 out. And let's see. What else do we have to talk about? We do have an Explorer, live.redcoin.com has been an issue. We've had some technical problems there, so it's actually being fully rebuilt. That should be up and running in the next, wow, let's say a month, I believe, is a pretty solid estimation. We've got some of the junior members of the team are focusing on that. That'll give us some new insight into the network and kind of what's going on with Reddcoin as well. And hopefully at some point we'll be able to integrate some data feeds from the back end of ReddID that'll really show, as the news feeds and the tip feed pages are meant to highlight, that sort of social activity that, anything that's tip worthy, content creators that people are offering tips to, that's stuff that people are going to want to see, both in the extension and also on the web page, to be able to get to it from pretty much anywhere. That to us is a major part of the value of what ReddID is built to do, to surface some of that content of note and to show people, hey, this one's worth taking a look at, maybe throwing a few Reddcoin at. So we look forward to bringing that to life as quickly as we can throw some resources at it. That's going to be sort of, I guess, Explorer 2.0 after the rebuild of the Explorer. So some of the other things that we've got going on, and I'm sure some of you know, many of you have contributed to the crowdfund we announced a little while ago. It's been very successful in our estimation. It's really given us the ability to engage some of the talent that we're going to need to do some of the other things that we want to do. At this point, we've collected roughly about, I would say about 6 million Reddcoin, not looking at it right this second. We've spent a portion of that on various things. At this point, we have about 5 million and change still in the developer wallet, and we're targeting those funds rather than perhaps a single exchange listing. We've got some exchanges that have offered us as low, in quotes, as low as a Bitcoin and a half for a listing. That's really with outside the scope of what we've collected so far, but what we plan to do, and it's something that we've gotten quite a bit of positive feedback. We'd love to hear what you think and your insight into these proposed changes. But the plan for a fork of the Reddcoin network, not to change the symbol or to make it a different coin, it's going to stay RDD and Reddcoin, but to change the characteristics of the staking, really to focus on, and this is going to be detailed in some depth in our new red paper, which should be available on the website as soon as it's ready, to basically take the network to the growth, the 5% growth that it was designed to increase at, because what we've determined over the last few years that Reddcoin's been running, that there are a lot of people who are not staking, a lot of holders, exchange wallets, people who have just let their coins go idle or have them in paper wallets. Those people are not staking, not securing the network. So in order to kind of encourage that behavior, what we've decided to do, and also to stabilize the network growth at that planned for 5 to 6%, we've come up with a mechanism that we're calling the dynamic enhanced staking, which is meant to basically calculate if half of the network is staking, and just as a yardstick so you're aware, currently typically we're seeing about 25 to 30% participation, people who are staking versus holding it elsewhere, or exchange wallets, things like that just aren't set up to stake. And what we've decided to do is to take that planned 5% reward across the network and make sure that the network grows at that 5% by distributing those rewards that are essentially going unclaimed to the folks who are taking the time to secure the network to stake. Not only does it increase overall network security, but it'll have the added result of multiplying the stake that you're receiving by hopefully not an inconsiderable amount. As a matter of sort of rule of thumb calculation, right now, let's say 25% of the stakeholders on the network are staking. That would translate to a 4-time multiple to make it match what it should be if everyone was staking. That means that if you had a 100 Reddcoin reward for your stake, let's say as an example, once we put these rules into play, you would get 400 for the same stake until more people come on the network and stake. It's meant to adjust every minute as the block passes to calculate who's on the network, what that proportion is. And obviously it's meant to encourage people, more users, more redheads to hold their wallets as staking wallets, not put the larger proportion of their holdings on exchanges or elsewhere. And you'll gain some bonus rewards for that. And the other aspect of this fork is meant to sustain the dev team. We had planned to take a percentage of those enhanced staking rewards and send them back to a centralized dev wallet that we control, that we can spend those coins on miscellaneous development costs, on some payments to folks like John and I that have been working as volunteers, really to enable the growth, to pay for exchange listings, things like that we don't presently have the funds for. But if we could take that percentage of the enhanced growth of the network, it really is kind of an elegant solution in that the network's going to fund itself with the community's trust behind us and with the consensus of the team on how things are going to be used. We do look forward to obviously some responsibility, but at the end of the day, it really is opportunity, the ability to sort of grow and do the things that we'd like to do to make Reddcoin a success, so that everybody who's holding it, is happier across the board. Obviously, if you have any opinions about that, we would love to hear them. We've done some looks in there.